Good morning, grade 7. Welcome to our virtual discussion. We are now in week 4, and our topic for this morning is about summarizing a text. After reading this module, the learners should be able to summarize the key information from a text, specifically match words with their meanings, identify positive Filipino values, use graphic organizer in summarizing, and last, interpret understanding of the text through a summary. Before we start, what is summarizing or summarizing a text? A summary is a shortened version of a text, piece or a gist. Remember the following. Base your summary on the original piece. Keep your summary short. Use your own wording. Refer to the central and main ideas of the original piece. Read with who, what, when, where, why, and how questions in mind. Avoid putting your opinion about the issue or topic discussed in the original piece. So there are several strategies to consider when summarizing a text. First is read the entire text. Second, identify the title, author, and text type. Third, describe the central ideas. Fourth, identify key supporting details. Fifth, avoid opinions in important details. In order to better understand the text in summarizing, it is important to learn the different types of text structures. First is classification, or division, sorting information into topics and categories. Chronological, discussing things in order. Problem and solution, presenting a problem and offering a solution. Fourth, compare and contrast, discussing similarities and differences. Fifth, cause and effect, explaining a cause and its result. Different types of text structures. Text structure, classification, division. Examples. Lesson 1 can learn about life from a dog. There are so many lessons one can learn about life from a dog. Imagine this scenario. It is raining heavily outside and you need to leave for someone's house. The dog is up and eager to go with you. You tell it to stay home. As you leave, you see it squeezing out through the gap in the doorway. You scold it in order it back home. When at very turn you make, you suddenly see it following you sheepishly at a distance. It follows at the risk of being reprimanded for the sole reason of being somewhere nearby. How else can we experience so selfless an instance of love and faithfulness? We can learn a lifelong lesson from this sincere, warm display of perpetual companionship. Observe the eating habits of your dog. It does not eat except when hungry. It does not drink unless it is thirsty. It does not gorge itself. It stops eating when it has had enough. A dog also sets a perfect example of adaptability. If it is moved to a strange place, it is able to adapt itself to that place and to its thousand peculiarities without a murmur or complaint. It is able to learn and adapt a new family's ways and customs. It is quick and ready to please. Man, being accustomed to comfort and wealth, will be lost if suddenly stripped of all he is accustomed to. A dog also teaches us a thing or two about unselfish love. When a dog knows death is approaching, it tries with its last vestige of strength to crawl away elsewhere to die, in order to burden its owners no more. A dog does things with all vigor. However, when there is nothing to do, it lies down and rests. It does not waste its strength and energy needlessly. Many working people are burning the candles of both ends. Many suffers nervous breakdowns due to stress. Perhaps they should learn to rest like a dog does. A dog above all is truly man's best friend. Okay, to summarize, dogs can teach us many lessons of life. It can teach us through its acts of love and faithfulness, endangering itself just to accompany you. You can also learn from its eating habits. It will never overindulge and knows which food to avoid. Dogs are also able to adapt to its surroundings quickly without complaining, as compared to man who complains at the slightest change. Dogs are also unselfish, choosing not to burden his loved ones but to go away and die. Dogs also know when to work and when to play. They do not waste their effort unnecessarily like some of us do at work. Thus, dogs can set us great examples through their day-to-day living. So you can have also your summary with your words with you. So this is just an example of summarizing the story we read earlier. Next is the text structures or chronological. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Mang Eloy woke up early for work. He is a security guard at downtown pawn shop in Ozamis City. Aling Mameng, his wife, prepared breakfast for the family and readied herself for work too. She is a cashier at a department store. Coco, wake up now and take a bath, called Aling Maming. Yes, mother, he replied while stretching and yawning. When everyone has settled for breakfast, Mang Eloy talked to his son. When you're done with your breakfast, you need to throw our garbage. Don't forget to wash your hands too after doing that, his father reminded. Yes, father, he nodded while reaching the glass of milk and called on to his mother. Mother, we're running out of alcohol supply already, he said. All right, just text me later about it so I can be reminded, she answered. Exactly 7 a.m., when they finished breakfast, Mang Eloy and Aling Maming wore their face masks, grabbed their bags, and rushed out of the house. After a while, Coco wore his face mask, took out a bag of garbage from the trash bin, threw it away in their compost pit, and washed his hands with a foamy antibacterial soap. He made sure he washed his hands properly and dried them thoroughly. At 9 a.m., he completed all his tasks. He then opened his cell phone, texted her mother for the alcohol, and finally opened his DepEd Commons mobile app for his online learning. To summarize, a couple named Mang Eloy and Aling Maming got up and prepared early for work one morning. They had a son named Coco whom Aling Maming called to get up early too. When the whole family seated at the dining table for breakfast, they discussed about home necessities such as throwing the garbage, washing hands, and buying home disinfectants. The couple then went to their works, leaving Coco doing his home tasks until he finished them all and is ready for his online learning during the time of pandemic. Next is text structure or problem solution. Coronavirus disease is a global infectious disease which affects different people in different ways. Some will experience mild symptoms which do not need special treatment and will recover from it eventually. Others will experience most common symptoms like headache, fatigue, fever, or dry cough. Over 9 million people all over the world was confirmed infected of the disease, and it caused millions of deaths too. It is an invisible enemy that continues to threaten the lives of many. There are important ways to fight against the threat of this virus. All government agencies remind us to practice protective measures in order to protect ourselves against COVID-19. Proper hand washing and cough etiquette, boosting immunity, maintaining social distance, wearing a face mask, and avoiding crowded places are several ways to protect oneself from COVID-19. This pandemic will continue to ruin many lives unless there is massive cooperation from people in the country and in the whole world. To summarize, COVID-19 pandemic has continued to threaten millions of lives not only in the Philippines but also across the globe. The attack of the virus differs from one person to another. Some may experience symptoms, others may not. The government always reminds us to practice protective measures to prevent the spread of the virus. It is expected to continue to destroy many lives if people will not cooperate with the government in the effort to combat against the virus. Compare and contrast. We all know how useful television and radio in giving important informations and entertainment in our daily lives. Our elders have been using them for centuries. The joys they give during the leisure times and guide they deliver when natural and unnatural emergency occur make them survive through the test of times. So to summarize, the television which shows images and sends sounds give the viewers complete experience in acquiring knowledge. Although a radio only sends sounds, still its listener will experience a wonderful way of getting informed because it allows the listener to draw images from what they heard. Both television and the radio are common means of Filipinos' ways to spending time with family. Truly, television and radio have become part of the Filipino lives yesterday and today. Cause and effect. Importance of trees. They have great impact to human life because they provide many things such as food, shelter, and others' life's essentials. Trees also contributed something beneficial to the environment like providing us oxygen, water, and shelter to wildlife. However, nowadays, as we observe, trees and forests are alarmingly destroyed, and there are some areas in the forest which are denuded. This activity is called deforestation. Many people, like the farmers, suffer from poverty, so they resort to practice of cutting down and burning trees for agricultural purposes. Many rely on trees not only to the humans but also animals. Loss of great numbers of trees in the forest can lead us to different calamities like flooding, climate change, soil erosion, earthquake, and the like. Since trees are very essential to mankind and the community, let us support the advocacy to take care of the trees and the environment. In summary, deforestation is caused by poverty or human needs such as food and finance. However, it brought destruction to the environment like flooding, climate change, and other calamities, so the advocacy to take care of the trees and the environment continued. So that's all with our discussion for today. I hope you learned something and get information which new to you. Thank you, and once again, good morning.